Good evening. I hope you can hear and see me okay on YouTube. I'm home alone tonight. Mr. G is away, so I'm going to rely on all of you to tell me if there's any issues, and hopefully you can hear and see me, because if there is a technical glitch, I'm done for. I can see some names coming in, so I know you're there. Hopefully I'm there too. And I don't know what on earth the White Rabbit influence is at this on the 4th of March. I think that excuse will be wearing thin. Hi Andrea. Hi Vanessa. Melanie. Oh good, thank you. Hi Jane, lovely. I wasn't sure whether Erica was live tonight, but I think it's tomorrow, isn't it, that we've got a live from our lovely Erica with an amazing, I hope you've seen her amazing new collection. It's absolutely stunning. She's promised that I can have a play with her. I'm meeting up with Erica and Leonie on Saturday, so she's promised me that I can have a little treat. Hiya Heidi, Carol, Ali. Oh great. Oh, she avoided tonight just for me. That was cool. I bet she's not watching though. Hello, Amanda. How are you, lovely? Good to see you in the chat. Oh, I'm glad you found me. I'm glad you've remembered, because I'm not live as often as I once was. So I always worry a little bit that you might forget to tune in on the first Wednesday of the month. But it is a bit of a fantastic treat episode tonight, because we've got an amazing collection to share with you. And rub-ons for the first time in over a year. By popular demand, I have got a set of rub-ons made, and they are gorgeous. I'm delighted with them. So I'm hoping you're as excited as I am to see the new collection. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Donna, lovely. So tonight's order of business, and because I am home alone, I do need to keep to time, because obviously I'm dog sitting, and my lovely dog will not tolerate being left by himself for too long. So tonight's order of business is we're going to pick the Take 3 challenge prompts for March, so you can get going on those makes. Fingers crossed the Take 3 challenge spirits are with us this evening. I want to show you the new collection. I want to do a bit of crafting with it, have a chat with you all, and I will do a giveaway. But I think because I can't really choose a name while I'm live, I think we'll do the giveaway based on all comments that are received by kind of midnight on Thursday. So I'll announce the giveaway winner on Friday morning in the Facebook group, but also here in the YouTube community as well, if you don't follow me on Facebook. And for the giveaway, I'm going to give you around £50 worth of product from the new collection. So it will be the paper pad, the rub-ons, and one of the stamp sets. So hopefully that will be something to look forward to, and you'll be eagerly awaiting to know who the winner for that giveaway is on Friday. If you could like and share, that would be fabulous, because it just helps people know where to find us and that we're live. Oh, and also while I'm on, I just saw a post literally before I jumped on the live to say that if you don't already follow Erica on YouTube, her YouTube account, and Jane might put the link in the chat for us, her YouTube account is Stampanori. She's trying to grow that so she can do more lives on YouTube as well, because of course, I don't know if you're aware, but on Facebook, live content doesn't get retained now for more than 30 days. So if Erica is able to do more lives on YouTube, then of course it stays there as a reference for a much longer period. So if you don't already follow Stampanori on YouTube, then do check them out. But after this live, I don't want you going anywhere now. We've got too much exciting things to look forward to. And I'm just sorry, I'm looking at the chat, which is why I kind of suddenly drift off. Sue, good to see you. Oh, thanks, Jane. Sarah, Amanda, So is it a while since I've seen you on the chat, Amanda? If it is, and Amanda Wegram that is, then very warm welcome. It's lovely to see you. Jane Bolton's watching with the sound off again. This is becoming a bit of a habit, so I'm going to try not to take any offence that she's got me on mute. Good, don't you go anywhere, Donna. Right, let's turn the camera around and we'll pick our prompts first. Then we'll look at the products, and then we'll have a bit of a craft with them. And I've got some samples that I've made. There'll be lots more inspiration with this collection coming your way. I know that Heidi, the Yorkshire Crafter, will be doing is it a live, Heidi, on Sunday with the products. So again, Heidi, if you haven't already, do put the link in the chat. We know our fabulous Brian has got the products, so I know he'll be sharing makes with and samples with them over the next few days as well. So, and also my YouTube video this Sunday is featuring the collection. So there are going to be lots of places and ways that we'll be sharing ideas for using these products as well. So even though I don't have a huge stack of samples with me, you won't go short of inspiration. They are lovely, yes, they are. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I hope you are recovering, Amanda, and that you are on the mend and feeling better. It's lovely to see your name. Right. And Selena. I didn't say hello to you, Selena. I hope everything is okay with you as well, lovely. I'm so grateful to you all for turning up, tuning in. I'm turning the cameras around now, she says. Oof. I'm always relieved when that works. So I've got my 3 jars and I've got the right lids on the right jars. I have checked. I haven't put the February challenge prompts back in the jars just for fear that we end up picking the same 3 again. But let's see what happens. Drum roll. Colour. Let's start with colour. I have got my palettes here as well, because I've got a couple of palettes that we made. Oh, we've had this one before. I mean, we would have it before. We could have it before because I've put it back in the pot. Black and white plus 1 colour. Actually, that works well for this collection, to be fair. So basically, monochromatic, but with a pop of something, and that something can be whatever you choose. And if it's purple, then that's your decision. I do not judge. Can you tell I'm feeling a bit giddy this evening? Right, theme. Let's hope. I hope I don't pick out just a completely set of 3 that we've already had. Let's see what this thing. We've had this one as well. Bird. Now that will work really well for this collection, because the rub-ons do, and actually the papers do feature birds as well as of course all the other bird products that we have brought to you over the months and years. So black and white plus 1 and bird. I hope if anybody can check back on the previous challenges, do tell me if we end up completely duplicating a previous month. That would be so weird, because there are quite a few. There are quite a few prompts in these jars. Don't know which one. We'll go with that one. So what's this one? Technique, isn't it? Stamp. I'm fairly sure we've had that one as well, but I don't think we've had this 3 in this configuration before. And actually, that's quite a nice set of prompts. I think that gives you quite a lot of latitude, because you've got your theme, your color theme is kind of something for you to choose. Birds, yes, we have had that before, but hopefully you've got enough in your stash to be able to bring that one out. And stamp, well, obviously putting some kind of stamping on your project won't be too much of a stretch from a technique point of view. So I think we're I think we've got away with that one by the skin of our teeth. I will, of course, share those prompts in the Facebook group as a reminder for you. And I think everyone's getting the hang of it now that I do set up the challenge album, but if for any reason it goes walkabouts and you can't find the challenge album, then post your make under the pinned post where I put these particular prompts. Put your make there, so at least when I'm getting to the end of the month, I can combine all of the makes across the album and in that feed as well. Well, Brian, it is up to you to interpret bird in whatever way you choose. Good to see you, Brian, as well. I don't know if I said hello to you, lovely. Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure when. I know we've had them, but I couldn't remember when. So we haven't had them together yet. So we had Black and White plus one before. Bird, it was in December. Oh, obviously we haven't had stamping then. That's cool. So there we go. I will remind you of those, but I think they're not the worst set that we've had. So I think we should take that as a good omen for March being a very good month. Now, if I can just maneuver slightly so I can put the jars out of the way, and then we'll have a look at our fabulous goodies. And let me know how you all are as well. Pigeons. Yes, of course, Donna. I mean, Donna did make me get my very own pigeon stamp, so she better do something with ruddy pigeons on it. Let's have a look at our Dreams in Bloom collection, and it's really difficult to know where to start with this one because it's all just scrummy. I'll start with stencils mainly because they're at the top of the pile and they're the easiest, because I really want to spend a bit of time looking through the artwork in the wonderful papers and rub-ons. We've got a beautiful, so we've got 2 8x8 stencils in this collection. As you know, well, I say as you know, the product's going to go on sale from first thing on Friday this week, and everything will be available individually. And I've done a few little mini bundles. I've bundled the papers and the rub-ons as a mini bundle, partly because they're the consumables out of the collection, and I've done a deal on the whole bundle. But as I say, it's there for you to pick and mix as you as in terms of what best appeals to you. So we've got a wonderful, I love this one. It's called Verdant, but it's kind of an abstract, what's kind of vines and foliage effect. It really gives you lovely backgrounds without necessarily being too strong. Well, actually, I say too strong, but for example, on this make here, I've done a painty background, and I have used it very in the background here, as you can see. So it's a very gentle effect here, but then on the layout that we're going to do in the YouTube video on Sunday, so I've already recorded that, you can see it can give you a stronger look as well. So it's a really versatile stencil without being overly prescriptive about how you use it or what effect you want to get from it. Then we've got our brush, I can't say this now, brush stroke birds, which, as you can see, really gives you that look of a kind of sky full of birds all in flight. These are great because I tried to get the balance right between having enough space between them so you can isolate individual birds if you just want a single image on your project, but also have them as enough of a collective that they will make a nice background too. So in terms of isolating, for example, on this layout here, I've just isolated a single bird here and used it texture paste, but then on other makes I've used the whole of the stencil. So it's a really nice user-friendly one. The birds are big enough to be quite a nice image in their own right. So they're my 2 stencils that are with this collection. And then we've got 2 really spectacular stamp sets. And the whole theme, I guess, of the collection is it's really kind of the power of dreams, being a free spirit, expressing yourself. And these female kind of images in the 2 stamp sets are very different in style, but they're kind of really trying to capture the essence of being your own person and just really kind of an arty look. So, we got similar samples, Brian. I'm so looking forward to see what you've done with them. I've normally seen the samples in advance, so I just don't know what you're going to do with them. I'm hoping as well, everybody, to get Brian to do a live for us as well at some point in the next few weeks with the collection as well, if he is willing to help us out with that. That would be amazing. So I have done a stamp set similar to this many years ago. It's probably one of my first stamp sets, but it's the monoline. It's that kind of single line drawing which has a real kind of flow and fluidity to it. So it's a kind of very contemporary but quite an abstract style of artwork. You can obviously it's obviously clear they're all female figures, but they look great just in terms of stamped out as a single line. Add some color to them. They're a really kind of dreamy, I suppose, a dreamy look to them. The biggest sentiments are: be the heroine of your own story. Strong women don't have attitudes, we have standards. She, free spirit and strong. So yeah, there was a Papercraft Society. In fact, I've done 2 with the monoline figures in them, actually, Ali, because I had one out a couple of years even before that Papercraft Society box as well. Well remembered. So we've got that beautiful kind of just dreamy effect of that artwork. And then we've got 3 figures which have got very much a sketchy style to them. So let me just move them one way and the other so you can see the artwork. So nice strong images, not too much colouring in for those of you that don't want to spend ages with that, because there's quite a lot of kind of bold, almost brush strokes with these figures. And we've got the lady holding the flower, lady with long hair, and one looking over her shoulder. Take time to smell the roses, because obviously we've got the rose there, and kind heart, beautiful soul. So these are big enough, and my intention with both stamp sets is they're big enough to be a lovely focal point on projects, journal pages, cards, however you want to use it. So there you go. And then we've got the rub-ons and the paper pads. So let me take you through the rub-ons first. We've got our classic lolly stick or Mod Cons, and then it's 4 sheets of A5, 4 A5 sheets of different designs in this collection, or in this pack. And I've gone for a range of designs. I'm trying to get them in shots, where you've got birds, you've got florals and foliage, and also you've got some kind of ephemera pieces with like tags and hearts and elements that you can add on to extend your design. And these are beautiful designs, and they're by a pair of sisters, actually, who their business name on Etsy is Double Helix Digitals. I think I've got that on the packaging as well. Yes, so you've got the Etsy address for their shop. So they do lots of digitals, as the name suggests. And what they do so well is create layers and interest in their images. So these birds, these birds are made, have got map details in their bodies. These kind of more garden bird looks have got text in them. You've got the birds with the crowns have got that kind of painterly look. So the images have got kind of real detail in there. So this is another one with map bodies. So they're almost like made out of folded paper, really. They're really, really lovely. And as you may be aware, they're you see from the white adhesive on the back, they give you a solid finish, so you can layer them over patterns and they're not going to be see-through. They will give you a solid finish, but as we know with our rub-ons, that seamless finish as well, so it will really kind of blend into the surface that you're using them on. So we've got two, well, confused myself, two sheets, A5 sheets of birds, different bird designs, and then we've got one with florals. And again, even with the florals, they're kind of like mixed media florals. They've got kind of prints and patterns in them. So there's real depth there. The foliage and the leaves has got text in there as well. And I wanted to make them big enough that they could effectively be a focal point, or that you could make an arrangement of these and they would stand. It does, yeah, it's true. That's a good point, Brian. It does remind me of Paola. So yeah, I didn't want them to be too small that they get lost on a project. I want them to really kind of have impact in their own right, because they've got a real rich color to them. And the final part of the set is these one where I'm talking about it being almost like ephemera. So you've got these kind of brush strokes. You've got these hearts. It's hard to show you with the acetate really, and the tags. But they were, again, say this on an A5, they're a decent size, so they're really going to layer beautifully. And remember that with your rub-ons, you can layer them. So because they're opaque, you can put one on top of the other and build a design. So you could be adding rub-ons to the tags. And they'll all kind of stack and work together. And I've scattered words where I felt there was enough space for you to be able to cut them out, and splatters. So I really love these. This is one of those kind of sets of rub-ons that, because it's birds and it's florals, they're not butterflies, but they're pretty close to butterflies as being elements you can add to enhance most projects. So that's why, Donna, I've done that separate mini bundle with a set of papers and rub-ons, because I do think these are the two parts of the collection, which the others are all tools that you can use and keep, but these are the things that you're going to go through. So this is an absolute joy, this paper pad. It's a big one. It's a bumper one, like our mixed media compendium one. I've got 24 designs in here, 24 papers, and 2 of each. So our usual paper pads are 36 pages. This one is 48. And I've been working with the absolutely lovely Cheryl Francis. Now, Cheryl, again, has a wonderful shop on Etsy, and she has a huge range of digitals and all this kind of dreamy artwork. So definitely check that out. And she's been so kind and helpful to me in putting this collection together. And I sent her on the pads, and she's so delighted with it. She's really loves seeing the artwork in print. So this is it. So I have put her name on the cover because I absolutely wanted to give credit to her for this. So this is going to be one of those kind of paper pads where I've tried to give you lots of different styles from within Cheryl's extensive range, and lots of different sizes. So you're going to have images in here where, as you can see on this page, I've got 6 that will work for art trading cards or smaller projects. But there are also ones in here which are full 8x8 and A5. So I've tried to cater for lots of different styles of projects. So again, back to our rainbow girls. These ones are not quite 8x5, but they're probably 5x7. And I've added where I feel it works on a page, I've added just kind of blocks of sentiments as well. So you've got kind of journaling type sentiments that will work for your pages. So I've got just a single background sheet here. And what I have done on pages where I've been combining images from that work together is I've layered them onto some of the pattern backgrounds. So you're not going to waste anything. Partly it's great, it's easy then to cut out because you've not got white space kind of appearing. But equally, I'm using these areas here for collage and for borders, etc. So you can use the whole of every page. I totally love these. These to me are really kind of dreamy, almost like kind of the figures, the female figures are kind of merging into the natural landscapes. And again, you see I put paper around it, which I think is going to work with the colorway of the focal point. And here's another 2 of these. So you can see this is the one that I used on my kind of A5 junk journal, foliage from the rub-ons here, some of the splatters from the rub-ons, and just that figure I just think is a beautiful image. So you've got 4 of those figures in the, you've got 2 pages, just different designs of these female figures, and they just look like they're disappearing into the landscape around them. You've got the kind of distressed looking backgrounds here with that kind of soft blue and white. Again, another border of sentiments on this one as well. So I've got black and white and white and black. I was going to say Wuthering Heights actually, Donna, because that's what came to my mind. Not the current film version, but the kind of the imagery to me looks like Wuthering Heights. Hello, Sharon, lovely. Hope you're well over there in the morning. They are really cool, these papers. So again, here we've got another 8x8 sheet, but I've got 6 images on it. The female kind of faces have got that kind of elements all embedded in them. And I do love these. I've got 2 sheets like this, which are almost like the little school photos. So these are smaller. You can use it as a full background, or you could be taking the individual images and kind of putting them in a film strip or putting them into a collage. Really cool. So I love these. And then I blew them up slightly bigger. These are another different set of 6 images, but these are slightly bigger. They're just so like school photos, aren't they? That's what they are, really, isn't it? And then I've done a range of them here as circles. So if you wanted to put glossy accents on them, make them into buttons, they're going to work really nicely. Then I adore this one. There's 2 of these actually. Again, whimsical, dreamy. You've got there a page, haven't you? That just that page in its own right would be a page in your could be a page in your journal, could be a card front. But I have layered it onto music paper. So again, you've got elements there that you can use for your collage. And in my little junk journal that I've been working on, for example, is that one. You can see here how it just kind of makes that page. I've done it as a flap, and then I've used the music paper to hold the other images on the page, and added some of the rub-on hearts as well. So yeah, really I love these ones particularly. I just think they're really kind of whimsical. And then we've got another one here. And again, this one I've got laid onto some ledger paper, so lots of collaging potential there. And they've done it. The printers have done this the same way as they do mixed media compendium. So you kind of, it's almost like 2 paper pads in one. So I'm jumping through. That's the same 12 again. Let's get to the next 12. So here we've got the kind of ladies in that soft blue, but they're in black and white pretty much, the ladies, the soft blue, and then those pops of red from the flowers. So you can see how well they're going to work with the rub-ons too. Talking about birds, the feathered variety, Brian, you can see here again birds here with the crown. So I selected images that I thought consciously would work with the rub-ons if you wanted to combine them. But again, I've gone for different scaling of different images. So long and narrow ones, and then you almost the kind of A5 size ones as well. So these are really painterly, the birds. I really like these, the colour saturation on these. And then these 3 ladies are just amazing. We've got 3 almost like bookmark size, but I just thought, again, in terms of journaling or even doing DL cards, I thought these would be lovely. So these ladies in that kind of soft blue, these are very springtime actually. I've got the kind of the branches and the foliage kind of coming from them. I just think they're very, very fairy-like. Excuse me. We've got two beautiful kind of slightly vintage looking ladies here, painterly again on a ledger style background in matching colours. So you've got your collaging. Yeah, they do have a bit of an oriental feel. I love this one. This is a full 8x8 page, but I think as I was showing you with that page with the bird, all I did was cut round the face here. So you don't necessarily need to use the whole of the page. You can just cut the face out and then have it blend in with the rest of your layout. And I put one of the smaller figures there as well. So I like how that layers up. So yeah, you've got your full scale head, big head. And then we've got those I showed you, didn't I, the earlier in the pad, the slightly bigger images with the kind of vintage sepia style imagery, but the wreathed again in kind of leaves and vines. And I've got them here in a smaller scale again, so not A7-ish, not exactly necessarily. More of these wonderful kind of floral ladies, but again scaled down this time and with another set of circles at the bottom, just again to give you that opportunity to create kind of accents and coordinating elements. Got some of our rainbow ladies here. Love the vibrant colours. So you see we've got the whole palette going on in this pad. We've got everything from the rainbows to the sepia to the soft and dreamy. I've got the black and white. I did this is kind of what started me off on working with Cheryl actually, because I got a set of her digital downloads a couple of months ago, and it was these figures here, and I made a little kind of zine with them. So this is very distressed and vintage looking kind of A6 zine. And I used a lot of the artwork or the imagery from the digital set here. So I had to have a page that had some of those images on because I really liked making this. And I have shared it on socials previously, but you can now use that same artwork printed out. What else is there in here? We've got here more birds, but then we've got ladies with birds and crowns. So again, a further riff on yeah, exactly, Brian. That's what I was thinking. You've got black and white and birds already happening just on the papers. The paper pad will see through this challenge, no problem at all. Well, you need to stamp, of course. You need to stamp. Here's an 8x8, almost kind of a vintage portrait. But again, that figure could be cut out and isolated, and you could use the rest of it for collage, or you could use it as a single image. So I think I've only got 2 8x8 full images in here, and then we're back, aren't we? We're back to the 12 that we just looked through. So it is a big old pad. There's a lot in here, but it was really, really difficult. And if you do check out Cheryl's Etsy shop, you'll realize how difficult it was to even get it down to this number of collections. And certainly if it's popular, and I know Cheryl absolutely loves it, then we'll certainly do another one, because she's got plenty of artwork for me to continue working with. And I just think it has a beautiful, dreamy quality to it. And she does, when you get it home, you'll see she does embed a lot of textures in it, from like a painterly effect or distressed effect. So it's even the cloud, I'm just thinking, even the cloud on the rainbow lady is full of text. So there's lots of details that you'll see when you're actually able to look at this up close. So that is the collection. You've got your paper pad, rub-ons, 2 stencils, 2 stamp sets, configure them in any way that that appeals to you and your style of crafting. And certainly the paper pad and the rub-ons are the consumable elements, which is why I've added them as a separate individual item as well, for those of you that that particularly like them. So I hope you like them. I think you do, from what I can see on the comments. But yeah, it took a lot. I say it took a lot of work. I mean, I don't mean it was hard work, but it's trying to configure it to make it a really crafter friendly 8x8 pad. So you've got the different sizes of shapes, you've got the ledger papers or music paper backgrounds, just so that I felt you could use it in every way that you might want to or might think of using it. So there is the products. I think as we've been going through, I've kind of shown you a lot of what I've been making with them so far. We were away this weekend, so what I did was took out a signature out of an old book and created in this, and once I've filled this, I will probably do the same with another one and then bind them into a journal. So this is kind of the innards of a journal. Yes, we are, Amanda. There is a full bundle collection discounted on the shop, and the rub-ons and papers, I've also done a little discount on those, as well as obviously the individuals. So I think there are different variations for different budgets. So there we go. There's that one I showed you with that kind of dreamy lady. And then here's one with one of our kind of monoline women. I can't remember what the style of art is called, but you can see here I've kind of put the colour across the page in a diagonal, and I've done the birds, but just softly stenciled them with paint across the eye line, and then we've got one of the rub-on birds at the top there with the mapping. So again, just and she flew on the wings of her imagination from the paper pad. So just trying to take the eye across the page. Got one here with one of our sketchy ladies. That doesn't sound very nice, does it? Call them sketchy. But I've just built a focal point here with the rub-ons around a piece of film strip, just to really give you again 2 focal points on the page. It's a very paintery background, this one. I did a lot of collage and painting on this one, so the fact the rub-ons have adhered so well is really good proof of how versatile they are, because they will go on to fabric and plastic and metal and wood, etc., as long as you're StreamYard. I should try and get sponsorship from them for my next broadcast. Don't be starting about ducks now. You've got pigeons, Donna. So yes, the rub-ons will adhere to pretty much anything, as long as that surface is dry. The only time I've ever encountered difficulties with my rub-ons is when I've been impatient and there's been moisture still in paint or ink on the surface, and it obviously does not like to stick to anything like that. So just make sure you've got a dry base to work from. This one, as I say, will be our YouTube tutorial. So I'll take you through how I built this page on that video on Sunday. And again, you've got your birds in the corners there, image from the paper pad, use it for some bits of collage and stenciling in the background. So really, really simple. Again, love this one. I've shown you already, collaging in the background, a bit of the stencil there. But I like the fact that, again, this just demonstrates the different scale of some of the images. So, you know, you can combine them really nicely, or you could cut off the top of her head and have the florals, the bright coloured florals coming out of her head. You can really go quite surreal and dreamy with these. Oh, don't you start on the duck, Donna. I can see where this is going. I'm going to do a demo in this in a second, which is why it's blank. I've just gel printed onto this. I do love this journal. It's absolutely jam-packed full of texture. And I think I've shown you this one already. So again, I'm going to be journaling on the back of my paper, my flap here with the figure on it. made a pocket, done some stenciling in the background. I'm going to probably add some colour to this lady, but I added some rub-ons behind her for that contrast between the black and white and the colour. Selena, you are encouraging. Don't you start ganging up on me, people. You know where it led to last time. And I've just used this back page for just paint you spare scrap paint. And then a bit of stenciling over the top, but I will add imagery to this one when I get to it. I'm trying to ignore the chats. Sort of gone downhill. I've shown you this one, and then the only other sample I wanted to show you, and if you get the newsletter, you've probably seen it already, but this is the project that I'm going to do in our weekender, our online weekender with the Craft Collective in April. I'm going to do a bit of mixed media weaving, and you can see now it probably makes more sense to you. You can see I've got an image here from the paper pads. I've got one of the rub-ons here, and obviously bits of MDF, bits of stenciling as well. Now, I've been in touch with Cheryl literally today, actually, and she's happy for me to make this particular figure available as a download with the kit that you can that will be part of the supplies for this mixed media weaving session. So even if you don't purchase the paper pad, but you want to come and do this project as part of our Craft Collective weekender, you'll be able to get access to this particular image to complete your weaving. Not the rub-ons, unfortunately, I can't help you with that, but at least this main central image will be available for you. And while I'm thinking about the Craft Collective weekender, just to remind you that our 20% early bird discount ends on Friday. We've got the super cool Lou Collins as our guest tutor for April, and I've started to share some projects that are going to make up the tutorials in the weekender as well. So sign up for the newsletter on the Craft Collective website to get access to your early bird discount code, and it'd be great if you could join us. We have so much fun. It's always a great weekend, and with Leonie, Erica, myself, and then our guest tutor, you're going to get 4 completely different projects that you can have fun making, and you get lifetime access as well to the content. So if you can't join us live, or you just want to watch and then go back and craft it at a later date, you can watch them whenever it suits you. Right. I like puffins. Yeah, I could see a puffin stamp. Ducks, bloody hell. Oh, oh, I'm not going to get you off ducks, am I now? This is a nightmare. What was I going to say about ducks then? Anyway, you won't get a duck stamp in time for the March Take 3 challenge. So work with what you've got, people, and don't encourage Donna any further. Right, let's make something. Let's have a go. Yes, thank you, Jane. I know you've done the Craft Collective workshops before, haven't you? I think you signed up for April. So yeah, I think we offer amazing value for money. The other thing to say about them as well is, in addition to the 4 workshops that take place during the weekend, we also do bonus online tutorials in advance of the weekend. So you get the chance to either learn a technique or get started even before we go live in April. Light and airy blues. So what was I going to do with this? The duck disaster has thrown me right off. This is what I was going to do. I was inspired by the maps in some of the birds. And I thought it'd be really cool to cut a kind of almost like it's not like a circle. It is a circle. The classes, Sharon, they're UK time, they're 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock on the Saturday and the Sunday. But as I say, you can watch them anytime. But yes, that's when they're actually live. There's 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., which I don't know. Probably one of those would work. Well, at least one of those slots would work for you. I'm not sure if both would. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed Denshaw, Dawn. We had a great time. As I say, we're meeting up on Saturday to have a chat and try and plan the next one. Or try and pin Leonie down is really what I'm saying. Anyway, I've cut a circle from an atlas. And I want to have one of my map birds kind of perched on this globe. And also, again, back to, I think you've got the theme from this journal. I really like the line of sight, this kind of sense of encouraging your eye to travel across the page in terms of where the kind of the focal image is looking. So I've got one of our brushstroke ladies. They're not called that, but I think it makes sense. Or Paola, as Brian says. So she can be looking up at the bird, at the globe, and then we can choose some rub-ons to build the image a little bit more. It is Paola. And one of the things that I've done here ahead of time, or just on this one, is I have put this rub-on onto a piece of acetate, because I couldn't decide whether actually I wanted my bird to perch on the circle, or kind of go behind it, or how I wanted to position it. So I thought actually the easiest thing to do will be to put it onto a piece of acetate and cut it out, and then it can be an element or an accent that I move around the page until I decide on the layout that I want. So that is always an option with your rub-ons, is you can, because they just float, you can put them on acetate, cut them out, and position them where you want to, if you can't quite decide how you want to put your composition. But I do have other birds, as you can tell. I've got quite a few birds, and so I couldn't decide. So we'll make it a group exercise. So I've got my bird here. I'm sure it's a particular type, but I don't know what it's called, in the kind of greens and the beige colors. Can you see? Hopefully. So that's all quite harmonious color-wise. Or I could go with one of the birds that have the kind of the reds in there for a bit of contrast. And I couldn't decide. So tell me, guys, whether you think this one that I've already started to taken out of off the back end, or one of the others would make a better focal point. I'm not sure if it is a blue tit. It might be. It's just got a bit of a longer tail than I'm thinking. I don't really know. Not very good with my birds. Red one. 2 votes for red one. Green tit. Great tit. Sorry. So let's go with this one. I quite like the red, but this one's more mappy. I'll go with this one. You can tell I'm being very indecisive this evening. Same old. So I'm hoping he's not too big for our globe. I don't think he will be. I think that will work nicely, actually. But I'm going to put him onto acetate so I can position him over the top. And I'm going to cut the leg off as well, because I don't really need him on a perch, given he's kind of going to be positioned there. So I'm hoping this is making sense. The miserable looking red one. I don't know. I thought... I think that one's more miserable looking. You're all so mean. What's got into you this evening? And talking of maps, I'm kind of thinking very much about maps and travel at the moment, because my eldest son is been traveling. I may well have told you this already, but he's been traveling for the past 6 months. And he's currently in Singapore and due back this week. But of course, we've had the travel disruption with the Qatar airport being closed due to the hostilities in Iran. So it's all been a bit fraught this week. So he's been trying to get alternative routes and journeys back. And of course, all the flights are obviously kind of booking very quickly, and the prices are just doubling hand over fist. So I am very much got travel on my mind at the moment. The good news is he has got a return flight. It's quite a convoluted route that he's taking now, but he is due to get back into the UK on Friday, so I'll be glad to see him back. So it's just such a nightmare, isn't it? Well, he was saying he might go overland back from Singapore, but he's due to start a job in April. I don't think he'd get back. It'd take him longer than a month to get back by sea. And of course, just because obviously it's such a difficult time for people, and so many people are now needing to reroute. Just all the flights and all the forms of transport have been booked up. Anyway, as I've been wittering on, you'll see I've kind of cut this away from its carrier sheet. So I've isolated the image. I'm using a bone folder, but obviously the lolly stick does that job as well. And I'm putting it onto the acetate so we can have a look and see how we want to position this bird, which I don't think is the grumpy bird. Do you remember Angry Birds? They were massive at one point, weren't they? I remember my kids got caught up in that particular craze. Let's see. So I typically kind of lift it very gently just to make sure that all of that image has transferred before I remove the carrier sheet. And there you are. You've got your lovely bird on the acetate there. Yes, I can imagine, Jane, from an insurance point of view. Yeah, I mean, nobody wins, do they? With all of that, it's just horrible for everybody caught up in it. And I think the ramifications just go much further than you ever initially think. You just focus on trying to get back, but of course, just thinking about what must be going on in the background to try and reroute all of those potential passengers just gives me a headache. Anyway, so I think our bird's going to look nice there. So I'm going to cut this out, but I'm going to add a bit of stenciling behind this circle first, because otherwise I think the page will be a bit flat. We need a little bit more texture and interest on it. So this is super easy to cut out because it's an easy shape, and I'm not needing to go right up to the line because the acetate is clear and therefore very forgiving. I want to minimize the amount of shine, obviously, because the rub-on itself is matte, but you don't need to do a super detailed cutting out job. There we go. I think that's pretty much him ready for action. So I think that's, could have possibly made my circle a bit bigger, to be fair. So let's add a bit of stenciling to the background before we start to put elements down. And I thought the half-tone circle stencil would work well for this. No, it's acrylic paint, Donna. It's sky blue light and white acrylic paint. I was using a gel plate, so I was just putting the gel plate down on the page to clean it effectively between prints. So I built up this background just from that gel plate. But it is very close to, I would say it's probably quite close to either broken china or salvage patina, quite a nice light blue. So I like the halftone circle because it really frames that kind of circular element quite nicely. It looks like it's kind of radiating out, and I want to stay fairly harmonious, but obviously, given that, as I say, that's the colour that's on the background, I'm just going to go a shade or two darker with the blue that I use through the stencil to give me a little bit of contrast, but keeping it relatively tone on tone. Now I could use a texture paste, and that would be super cool too, but I'm thinking of potentially using a few rub-ons here as well. So I'm not too keen on adding underneath an uneven texture at this point. So I've squeezed out a tiny little bit of paint. Got my cosmetic sponge, which I'm sure you've seen me use on many an occasion. And then I can be fairly generous right in the middle of this stencil, because I'm hoping it'll get covered up by the globe, so I can almost kind of pounce off the paint starting in the middle and then letting it fade out towards the edge. And that's just the key with stenciling with acrylic paint, is trying not to overload your sponge and having the patience to build the colour rather than going in with a sponge that's too wet and getting a blobby look. I'm sure lots of you have done the free Stencils Unlocked course on the website, on the Funky Fossil website, so you'll all be very confident stencil users by now. So let's see how that looks. Just extends that image out a little bit, doesn't it? So that gives us a nice effect. And I could have extended it a little bit further, but I'm thinking all we really wanted, or all I wanted to do on this occasion, was just give that that globe a little bit of a halo. I keep bringing back in my elements just to see how it's going to work. I think that's going to do okay, isn't it? I might bring it down a bit more. It's not quite central then, but yeah. Right. Now we've got our lady in my plan was to put our Paola in this corner here, trying now to avoid this blue paint, which is going to go everywhere. And let's think about adding a little bit of rub-on interest around her, because otherwise she'll be a little bit lost in this corner. It'll be a bit plain. And of course the area around her is dry, so I don't need to worry about there being wet paint. I can adhere my rub-ons directly onto that background. So let's have a look at, because I've got my splatters and my brush strokes, haven't I? I could even do the tag. No, I don't think I will though. I think I'm looking contrast. Now we've got our red. I don't think it's the grumpy bird at the top here, is it? Let's see it all. Then maybe if I do some red down here, then it will combine those two bits of colour. What you wanting to look like the birds splattered on our poor Paola? That's outrageous. Honest to goodness. I forgot how much I get heckled on these lives. So I'm thinking, I was planning on putting some splats, but you put me right off now. I'm thinking because this will ground her a little bit, won't it, as well? So if we put that brush stroke there, that red works well. I've decapitated him. Works well with this red up here. So I think I'll do that. So at this point, I'm moving it around quite freely because I've still got my backer on. Once that backer comes off, once I lay it down, I mean, obviously you can move it, but if you once you put any pressure on it at all, it will start to catch and start to stick down. So you see, just even by doing that now, it won't move. I mean, it's not. Oh, let's have a look. Yeah, it's not stuck, as in transferred, but it starts to stick. That makes sense. Does that make sense? So a bit of red, a brush stroke here, and then a splat, because it would appear the page requires a splat. I'm being probably a little bit more super cautious than I would be if I wasn't doing this live, because I want to kind of get it all to transfer in the one go. You don't normally need to put this much pressure or time rubbing it on, but try and get my finger underneath it. There we go. Yes, that's gone nice and cleanly off our rub-on. And then let's have a look. Put it down here. Yeah, that's nice. So splats. I've got blue splats, and the blue would go nicely. Let's layer some splats up. I have got a red splat somewhere. There it is. So maybe if I layer up the blue and the red splats, that'll be nice, because it will tie across as well. So, and this is where the rub-ons are just very addictive, because you. And the other thing I'd say, and I know it's easier said than done, given that, you know, I've got lots of these sets at home here, but try not to be too sparing with them. They work really well when you layer them up and combine them on a project. So, you know, I know we want to make these kind of supplies go as far as we can, but these do work really well when you kind of put them together. So yeah, if you're going to kind of commit to putting some on a project, it is worth combining them. So for example, a couple of leaves with the floral, etc., just to give it some kind of weight on your page. So here we go, bluish splats. You can see it. I mean, this is taking minimal effort, because the rub-ons and the stamp pretty much doing the work for me. I'm not really even touching the papers this evening, and I kind of, that was a conscious decision, because my YouTube video on Sunday features the paper, so I'm just trying to give you a feel for as many of the elements as I can. I could do some, actually I'll do some purple and then a bit of red. I know this sounds awful, but I want to be careful about where I put the red, just so it doesn't look like she's bleeding. It's probably just my head. I'll put that there. So you can see I'm layering the elements on top of each other to make it look organic. I'm not putting one splat up here and one here. I'm trying to cluster them so that they kind of they have more visual impact when they're together. Yeah, we saw lots of massive seagulls in Filey this weekend. They're quite imposing, the big seagulls, when they're up close. They can have my chips, that's for sure. Right, where's our lady gone? There she is. So I think if I add the red here, it's far enough away that it doesn't look like she's bleeding. Oh, that's just me. I'm obviously watching too many horror films. But that would be worse than it being a bird splat, wouldn't it? It does have some greens and blues in it as well, this splatter, by the way. And then I think we'll have combined, yeah, I'll do it like that. I think we'll have combined then a lot of the colours that are in the bird in the opposite corner. So the two parts of the page will be balanced nicely. I'll lift this up in a second so you can see how they've layered on top of each other. So you don't have any white outlines or areas around the rub-ons that make it look like they're kind of separate things. They will just melt together. Got that one there, so you can see. So they just kind of melt. Or do they? I didn't see any fledglings. Are they supposed to be lucky? Oh. I feel like I've done her a disservice now. Should have given her a big bird splat. So we'll put her there, and she's now kind of got that corner of the page now has a little bit more going on. And then the only thing I wanted to do as well was maybe add some foliage or florals under our globe. Somebody ought to ask Jane if she's taken me off mute yet. So that's nice. Right. So we've got our globe and our grumpyish bird. I could go around that globe with some black ink, but I don't actually have the black ink out, so I will forego that. But to give it a little bit more oomph, we could add, I think I'm going to add a floral and leaves just here. And again, I'm just trying to extend the eye line and create that kind of dreamy look, dreamy effect. So this will go, I'm hoping now, I'm fairly sure the acrylic paint will have dried sufficiently that we can go directly onto the background. So if we do that. So I didn't expect this demo to involve me just playing with the rub-ons quite so much. It has been over a year. Actually, it's worth having a look as well. The Essential Ephemera rub-ons, I think they're down to something like, I can't remember if it's £5 or £6 in the shop. But if you are making a purchase on Friday, it's definitely worth adding a set of those to your basket, because of course they will extend everything as well, because they're neutral. So they will help kind of build up these clusters and these visual layers really nicely as well. So there we go. Now a flower, and then so I think I'll go with the red flower again, just to bring that repeating colour through. I love these florals in here, and these bigger leaves. So I have tried to space these rub-ons sufficiently to make it really easy for you to isolate your elements and cut them out from the carrier sheet. So So if we go like that, where's our, just don't want to completely obliterate the, yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it? Last rub on, I promise you. Super, super simple. And it's really hard to dislodge a rub-on once it's down. So I kind of, although I'm laying this floral over the leaf won't move. It's, you know, you don't need to worry about anything once it's down. It's literally is just fixed on that surface. So we'll stick this down. That works quite nicely, doesn't it? Bit of glue. You could put the leaf over the circle, Ali. Do you mean once it's glued down? You could, and you are able to, where there are 2 layers, put that like that. Where there are 2 layers, as long as they're not like massively, you know, if one was on foam pads, that wouldn't work. But if you've got 2 pieces of paper stuck down, you should be able to adhere a rub-on over the 2, and it should sit quite nicely. Let me see if I can show you. Say with this yellow flower here, if I put this yellow flower over, and I'll just show you how that works. Oops. Just cut a bit of the base of that off. So I think you're meaning like this. So if I'm putting it now on top of the paper that's adhered down, it's obviously going over that onto the base, but it should sit. It should kind of go across the 2. As I say, you just need to be mindful of how thick the 2 layers are in terms of the disconnect for the rub-on kind of going across. I've got everything there. Find the edge. Find the edge. There we go. You see, that's kind of seamless, isn't it? You wouldn't even really know there are 2 layers there. I can't see a join at all. So yeah, as long as your 2 layers are reasonable, you know, kind of just paper thickness, you can absolutely have some things underneath, some things on top, and they'll manage that change, that difference in height. They're quite flexible. I mean, if you're doing rub-ons, for example, on a curved surface, as long as you can make sure that you know, you've got smooth contact of the rub-on as you're adhering it, it will go around that surface. So it's got some flexibility to it. It does mold itself to the surface you're putting it down onto. And then I'll add a bit of glue to the back of my Grumpy Bird. Again, I'm not worried about that showing because it does have a white back, so it shouldn't show through the glue. But as you just saw there, I could, if I'd made my decision about where this bird was going to go and left it to be the last element, I could have just put it directly onto the background. So I've not put it on the acetate because I was worried about it adhering. It was more because I couldn't decide where it might go. And I wanted to be able to move it around my page before I stuck him down. And there you go. Obviously, I need to add words to this, and I probably will add some splatters, but hopefully not in. hopefully you can see how that page is just building up really lovely, in terms of a little bit of stenciling, the rub-ons, the stamp images, and then just, you know, put these kind of elements with those papers and have the kind of the birds nestled in the hair of some of the ladies, or the florals extending out on those images, which are the, you know, got the red lilies in them. I'll never find it now. Shouldn't start looking. Where is she? Blue and white. You know, these ones, you can imagine you could continue building outside of the frame here to have your florals or your foliage kind of moving across the page beyond the image itself. So hopefully you can see ways that they'll work together, and I will not witter on further about the rub-ons and the papers just because I'm super excited about them. I am coming back on camera. So what time are we at? 8:15. I'm sorry, everyone. I said I was going to keep to time as well. I hope you've enjoyed it. I love spending time with you. I appreciate that my next task is to try and find something duck related or seagull related. But hopefully the birds in the rub-ons will satisfy you for now. I think goes on sale on Friday, and I really hope you like it, because I think this is one of our more special collections. It took a lot to pull this one together, but I think given I've been kind of pulling back in terms of the scale of product and scale of collection that I've been bringing you, this one has been a little bit of a production because I just wanted to get it right. So I hope you agree that we've done that. I'll put the Take 3 challenge prompts on the Facebook group. And obviously we'll be sharing samples and some of the makes that we flicked through this evening. And as I said, keep an eye out for both Brian and Heidi's inspiration too, because I know they'll be sharing lots of great ideas that would never have crossed my mind. And thank you very much for your company this evening. I'm hoping to see you again very soon. For those of you, well, I'll see you before the April weekend anyway, because I'll see you at the beginning of April, but hopefully I will see some of you on the April online weekend too. And I shall leave you with your bird puns for the rest of the evening, and take care. I hope the rest of your week goes well. Keep everything crossed for me that my son returns safely to the UK at the end of the week, and enjoy your crafting. I shall say goodnight. Bye for now. See you soon.